We welcome you to the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. The fans filing in to see a champion crowned today. Will it be Dawn Staley looking to become just the fourth coach to win 4 or more titles? How about Corey Close looking to bring UCLA their first ever NCAA championship? Lauren Betts, her star, has been historic in this tournament. And Raven Johnson looking to add a 3rd ring. It's UCLA. It's South Carolina. The show starts now.
When the players enter and the light is cast, the focus is set to extreme. In the frenetic cameras and the anxious crowd, the clicks are calls to action. They weave, they work, and play, feeling the glare of attention and the magnitude of the stakes. This is it. There is no second take.
It's everything to watch incredible young women chase their dreams.
Playing for a national championship has been a dream of mine since I was a little girl.
They just have a different look. They're ready to meet the moment.
Moments like this don't happen forever.
This is why I came to South Carolina.
Moments will enter the timeless space where memory and myth intertwine. So much passion.
Incredible performance. It was masterful.
Perceived from every angle, imprinted on every mind as they perform the role of a lifetime.
These magic moments.
I'm playing in the national championship.
Now they have the chance to rise and be immortalized.
Well, who will be immortalized today? A national champion will be crowned. Will it be South Carolina or UCLA? As we welcome you courtside. Hey everybody, Ryan Rucco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. So happy to be with you for the national championship game here on ABC. Rebecca, familiar territory for South Carolina, playing in the national championship game for a 3rd straight year, and they are led by an All-American sophomore, Joyce Edwards.
The 6'2" versatile big for South Carolina. Joyce Edwards has led this team all season long, just under 20 points per game. She can get into the paint, she can face from the perimeter, she can wreak havoc on the defensive end of the floor. Efficiency as well, shooting 58% on the season, leading the way, playing incredibly well here in the NCAA tournament.
South Carolina, a dominant run. 5 consecutive 35-win seasons, 2nd most all-time. 5 title game appearances in the last 10 years and 3 national titles. Meanwhile, for UCLA, they are in their first title game in the NCAA era, and they are led by an All-American center, Lauren Betts.
Lauren Betts, their senior, one of their many seniors, and the experienced leader. At 6'7", she has certainly owned the paint and played at another level here in the NCAA tournament. 22.5 points a game, 70% from the field, 3 block shots. She's owning the paint. She's facing up as well, leading the charge for the Bruins.
And UCLA getting historic production from their seniors this season. 90% of their scoring, most of any Final Four team, and all of their points in the national semifinal accounted for by seniors. First time that has ever happened in the Final Four. Getting ready for action between UCLA and South Carolina. What a rendition of the national anthem as we get ready for action in this matchup between UCLA and South Carolina. The Gamecocks seeking a 4th NCAA title in the last 10 years. UCLA seeking their first in the NCAA era. The Gamecocks on the precipice of more history.
I came to South Carolina to play in the national championship and win it.
national title.
Players have made big shots in the right moments.
Here comes the ride.
From a defensive standpoint, it was masterful.
It's right before your eyes. Oh, what a time to be alive. Now that greatness has arrived. It's right before your eyes.
Fearless,
Greatness
dominant.
Well, time to take a look at today's starting lineups, brought to you by Capital One. Let's send things back over now to public address announcer Jamie Coffey.
At 4 to 6'3" sophomore from Camden, South Carolina, number 8, Joyce Edwards. At center, 6'6" senior out of Kenya, 11, Medina Okat. At guard, a 5'9" senior from Miami, Florida, 00, Tanaya Latson. At guard, a 6-foot junior out of Albertville, Minnesota, number 5, Tessa Johnson. At guard, a 5'9" senior from Atlanta, Georgia, number 25, Raven Johnson.
The Bruins will play for a national championship for the first time.
Bigger the better, the money is tall. You don't know what battle, you don't get involved.
Booker into the paint, gets denied.
I'm playing in the national championship.
The job's not finished.
We're here to win.
Bigger they are, the harder they fall. I know so cause I want
Toughness, togetherness, and defense.
the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
And now, the starters for the Bruins. At center, a 6'7" senior out of Centennial, Colorado, number 51, Lauren Betts. At 4 to 5'11" senior from Bethesda, Maryland, number 1, Kiki Rice. At guard, a 5'10" grad student out of New Zealand, number 5, Charlize Ledger-Walker. At guard, a 6-foot grad student from Duluth, Minnesota, number 8, Gianna Neefkins. At guard, a 6-foot senior out of Camarillo, California, number 11, Gabriella Hawkins. And introducing the head coaches for the Bruins, Corey Close. And for the Gamecocks, Dawn Staley.
Get ready for the start of action here. Let's check in with another Hall of Famer. Here is Holly Rowe.
Well, imagine playing for a national championship with your best friend. That's what we see today with South Carolina's backcourt. Tanaya Latson and Raven Johnson have been playing side by side since they were about 14 years old. In high school at Westlake, they won 3 state championships together. They went their separate ways in college, but back together, reunited this season for their one and only college season. Their twin telepathy on the court is palpable. Raven can tell Tanaya where to be with a glance or a nod of her head. Likewise, Tanaya finds Raven in the most unique and creative ways because they feel each other on the court. When I asked about what's special with their relationship, they said, we've done a lot of winning together, and they are right. Their record on the floor, 118-5 when they play together. We'll see if they'll add another title to their best friendship today.
Terrific stuff, Holly. And Tanaya Latson told us last year seeing Raven Johnson's emotion in the championship game loss was something she herself carried with her all year long as her friend. How about the seniors today tying a record, just the third time ever we've had 8 senior starters in a national championship game. Here we go, UCLA, South Carolina, a champion crown today in Phoenix. Jaquez on the drive, tiptoes, with Okada on her on the switch. Betts gets the deep catch and banks it in.
South Carolina will play primarily man-to-man defense, but they have the option to switch multiple defenders, and that time Lauren Betts had the advantage on Edwards.
Betts, the multi-time All-American, puts UCLA on the board first. Here is Latson. Oh God, will fire. No, he's been shooting the 3 effectively late in the season. Johnson can't lay it in. Raven Johnson comes up with it. Another chance for South Carolina, and Okada cashes in.
And that is going to be a key for success. Anytime you're playing against UCLA and Lauren Betts, dribble penetration, draw the 6-7 shot blocker, and pass to a teammate for an open look. That's what we just saw.
Both Dawn Stanley and Corey Close both mentioning the boards to us right away as keys, as Okada able to knock that away.
And this is the versatility of Joyce Edwards as your 4 player, bringing the ball down the floor, creating for herself, will also create for teammates.
UCLA had 23 turnovers in the win against Texas on Friday night, and a foul there is going to go against Okada.
I was oofing the contact inside more than the 23 turnovers, but they both deserve it. And that's what you have to do when you go against a dominant big, is meet them up the lane, try to prevent them from getting low position on the block.
Ledger Walker splash on a little mid-range. Charlize Ledger Walker, the New Zealander. A transfer from Washington State. Corey Close said one of the best leaders she's ever coached. Okada, no.
A rare time that Okada at 6'6" will be going against a bigger defender with the 6'7" Betts.
Here is Rice. Kiki Rice, another one of those seniors. Jaquez lobbing it in. Betts, the catch and the finish.
That has been a staple of UCLA's offense all season long, since they've had Lauren Betts in a UCLA uniform. When she is high side denied on the block, they will flash a player into the high post and play the high-low.
Good start here for the Bruins, a 6-2 lead. Latson nearly lost it. Weaving, tagging, can't hit, but gets the whistle. And free throws here for Tania Latson.
You see Lauren Betts doing the work, fronted by Okada. And so what does the other post player do? You're taught from the time you're young. You flash to the high post, and then you look for that high-low look.
Lauren Betts, UCLA program records when it comes to field goal percentage, blocks, career points in the NCAA tournament. And she has been terrific here in her final tournament. How about Latson at the line in this tournament? So she's 26 of 30, but she is the first player ever in this tournament's history to have multiple games in a single tournament where she went at least 10 of 10 from the line, including what she did in the semifinal win against UConn.
In her last 3 games of the tournament, 21 of 22 from the line. She's getting there at a high clip, and she's making them when she does.
Playing with such poise in her first ever Final Four. Dugalich off the bench on the drive. Doesn't get the roll. Jaquez ups it in. Plus the foul.
Corey Close told us that we would see Dugalich relatively early in this game. They can now switch 1 through 4, and Jaquez, watch where she comes from. We saw this in the semifinal game as well, Ryan. She starts outside the three-point line. You see her at the top of the screen. Has a nose for the ball, pursues it, and then the savvy to collect and finish while she's getting fouled.
Holly?
The strength and conditioning coach for UCLA told us Gabriela Jaquez's performance numbers were the output of 2 players. She was all over the floor in the national semifinals. He said it was the best he's ever seen in 2 years working at UCLA. She's got that same energy and motor here today.
She is the winningest player in program history. Miriam Dowda getting early minutes, can't hit, rebound. Controlled by South Carolina, and another chance here for the Gamecocks. Latson, Dugalich all over, popped away. Rice got a hand on it, and the Bruins control. Here's Rice, working behind Betts. Rice on the drive, beats bodies, couldn't finish. Edwards out in transition. Edwards, the Euro, left it short. Rebound caroms to Betts. Here is Rice. Neefkins, catch, fire. Can't hit. Neefkins, one of the better three-point shooters in all of college basketball, 43% on the season.
Both of these teams comfortable playing with pace, but we know with South Carolina, when they can get out in transition like Edwards did the last time, didn't convert, but those are the quick looks they're looking for.
Johnson in and out. And the rebound bounces over to Jaquez. Neefkins lobs it in. Dugalich spinning, fading. Oh, baby! What a move from Angela Dugalich.
When she is aggressive, she can find her spots, whether it's scoring around the rim or getting on the glass as well. That's been a point of emphasis for UCLA with Dugalich. They want her using her athleticism to get to the boards.
UConn also got out to an 11-4 lead on South Carolina in the semifinal, just as UCLA has right now. Dowda can't finish. Jaquez blasting ahead. Jaquez all the way in. Gets the whistle. And Gabriela Jaquez will shoot a pair.
Dugalich has good size at 6'4", faces up and then spins and turns, gets to her comfortable level. Back to the basket, fade and finish.
Dugalich has gotten a lot of attention from WNBA front offices during this UCLA Final Four run, with 4 or 5 Bruins seniors expected to be first-round picks next Monday at the WNBA draft. Jaquez, one of them. You see, she is the winningest player in program history and hits the first free throw. Rebecca, for a team who has not been here, like UCLA, they have looked very comfortable in the early minutes.
Usually you see a team, even a team that has been here before in the national championship game, it takes a little bit of time, a couple minutes to catch your breath. We haven't seen that at all from UCLA.
A 7-0 run for the Bruins, 107 straight points scored by UCLA seniors. Meanwhile, South Carolina has missed their last 6 shots. Tessa on the drive, hooks it in, plus the foul. When the Gamecocks need a bucket, they go to Tessa Johnson.
And oftentimes it's Raven Johnson making the call, knowing they need someone to settle them, and that Tessa Johnson will.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Well, UCLA has one national championship in their history back in 1978, the AIAW title, taking down Maryland 90-74. Our good friend, one of the kindest people you ever meet, Ann Myers, now Annie Myers-Drysdale, almost had a quadruple double. The first ever women's basketball national championship game on TV. Over 9,000 people in attendance, and Annie here today to catch the action. She, Denise Curry, Anita Ortega, some of the stars of that team, and they have maintained such a close relationship with Corey Close and this UCLA program. NCAA era started in 1982, and Corey Close has taken the Bruins to back-to-back Final Fours after they had not been in the NCAA era. Tessa Johnson completes the three-point play. And again, that's a theme we've seen all season. We saw against UConn the other night. If South Carolina needs a bucket, they go to Tessa. Here's Rice working behind the freshman Sienna Betts. Rice, mid-range, off the mark, poked in the air, battled by Betts, but Edwards wins it for the Gamecocks.
Raven Johnson has the ball in her hands ahead. Watch her hawk on the defensive end.
McKeer connects. How about this freshman? She has had 5 double-figure scoring games in the NCAA tournament after she had 3 all regular season.
She averaged under 6 points per game in the regular season at 14.5 here in the NCAA.
Ledger Walker left alone. Rims out. Rebound. Taken in by UCLA. And Abulich getting minutes here for the Bruins. Didn't play in the semis. Ledger Walker. She got it. How about Lena Bilic getting early minutes for UCLA? Often they do not go to an 8th player.
She did not play at all in the semifinal game. Sienna Betts also in here. Corey close buying her starters some minutes.
Edwards, no. Okot the rebound. Knocked away. Tessa Johnson gets it back. A 16-10 UCLA lead. Okot left alone. Can't hit. Long rebound UCLA, and it's going the other way. The foul called against Edwards.
Because of the way South Carolina plays defense, you know you can get a flare screen on the backside, and that's what we saw on the last possession. Sienna Betts comes up, sets the screen, McKeer gets caught, and that is why Ledger Walker was wide open for that 3. Corey Close told us even before their game against Texas that they thought they could get that action.
Charlize Ledger Walker, one of the all-time greats at Washington State, scored 1,743 points there. Was injured last season at UCLA. A huge part of what the Bruins have been doing this season. Dugalich lobs it in, and Okot on the front knocks it away. Jaquez had it poked from Johnson, and it last hits the Bruins. It'll be South Carolina ball. Hey, the Frozen Four begins Thursday on ESPN2 at 5 p.m. For more information on upcoming NCAA championships, go to ncaa.com. An entertaining start to this national championship game. UCLA 50% from the floor in the first quarter. After they and Texas really struggled to score on Friday night. McKeer gets it back. Okot? No. And Betts the rebound. Okot now 1 of 6 to start.
She simply just doesn't look like she's comfortable out there right now in the spaces where she's catching it with the defender she has.
Jaquez trying to save it, could not. And UCLA turns it over. 23 turnovers the other night for Corey Close's team. The most by any team in a Final Four win since Kansas back in 1988. But a lot of the UCL players were actually encouraged by the fact they were able to win a game like that. They hadn't been in a ton of low-scoring games, gritty, grinded out, grimy battles, and they felt encouraged that they were able to find a path to victory in a game like that, as Betts having a little trouble there on the bench. So Betts checks out. Meanwhile, Alicia Tornabes, the 18-year-old freshman who joined South Carolina mid-season in. Jaquez gets whistled for the foul. We have our rules analyst, Dee Kantner, with us today. Dee, who officiated 26 Final Fours, as you see Lauren Betts saying, I have something stuck in my throat. And Dee, I know you've liked just the way the officials have set the tone early here today.
I do. I think they've done an excellent job of setting the tempo, communicating to the players, freedom of movement, what they're going to allow in this game. They've been consistent.
With the lineup that UCLA has on the floor, they can switch all 5 positions, as you saw there.
Rice comes in for the rebound. Betts still trying to navigate whatever's going on in her throat on that UCLA bench. Neepkins goes baseline. Neepkins looking for an angle, finds one short. Sienna Betts, no, knocked out of bounds by Blatson, and it will stay with the Bruins.
Certainly need to keep an eye on the Lauren Betts situation. She is so important offensively and defensively. The multiple positions that she defends on the defensive end impacts how UCLA guards deny.
Rice short, rebound Edwards. And the Bruins survive these minutes with Betts on the bench. McDaniel off to Tornabes. That jumper won't go. Knocked out of bounds by Dugalich. It stays with South Carolina. And you can see Betts is still trying to work out whatever's going on there on the bench, coughing into that towel. And you can see her saying, I don't know what's happening. You just certainly hope Lauren Betts is okay. First and foremost, her health. And then that she can get back into this game and be the factor that the country knows her to be. Here's McKeer. What a play by Dugalich. Jaquez off the deflection. Neepkins, guarded by Latson, has size on her. Neepkins doesn't get the roll. And Latson the rebound. Under a minute to go in the first quarter. Maddie McDaniel scoots in. Can't bank it in. Rebound knocked out of bounds by Tornabes. It'll be UCLA ball.
But I think it's good for South Carolina, whether it's Latson or McDaniel, to try to get downhill, get some dribble penetration, then you can dump it off to your post for a layup or perhaps kick out for a three.
UCLA started this game 4 of 5 from the floor. They're 2 of 11 since. Many of those 11 attempts with Lauren Betts back on the bench. Here's Neepkins lobbing it in. Dugalich surrounded. Quick turn. And the finish for Angela Dugalich.
And to sense the double team coming from the middle side and then to go back to the baseline.
McDaniel went too early. South Carolina should have held for one. And now UCLA will have a chance to as Rice peels out. Four seconds left. Rice at three. You bet! What a finish to the first for the Bruins.
Kiki Rice using the clock, understanding it's winding down, when to take the three, and then the ability for the senior to drain it.
An 8-0 run from UCLA. Stay tuned after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Holly Rowe will chat with Dawn Staley. UCLA ends the first quarter on an 8-0 run. They have an 11-point lead after one. Moments ago, Holly Rowe caught up with South Carolina head coach Dawn Staley.
Coach Staley, UCLA's come out really efficient shooting right now. What does your defense have to change?
Yeah, we got to disrupt a little bit. Okay, I think we got to play more just inspired. Okay, we got to dictate a little bit more. They're getting to their spots, and we got to do a better job at just trying to be a little bit more physical with them and not let them cut in front of us. So it's just really disciplined defense.
You've gone to your bench early in that first quarter. What do you need energy-wise from your group?
It's just a little energy, a little bit of speed, a little bit of scoring. So we got to find the right combination that can settle us down and put some points on the scoreboard and get some stops.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Holly.
All right, well, thank you very much, Holly. Of course, on Friday night at the end of South Carolina's win, a heated exchange between Gino Auriemma and Dawn Staley, which Dawn Staley addressed yesterday.
For me, no distractions at this time. Concentrating on winning the national championship, that's it.
And Gino Auriemma released a statement yesterday, issuing an apology, which we will show you in a moment. As second quarter action has started here between UCLA and South Carolina. Jaquez hooking it in. Dugalich laying it home. And the lead is 13 for UCLA.
South Carolina with their small lineup. Joyce Edwards at the 5. They've had a lot of success in limited sample size this year, and they had a lot of success using it against Connecticut as well.
Tessa Johnson able to end the run, and that's what Tessa does. We talked about it before. They go on a run, and they look to Tessa. Meanwhile, Lauren Betts still on the UCLA bench. Latson took a shot. It leaves Dugalich open. Now Neepkins missed the three. No! Got the banker! Some good fortune there for UCLA. Tessa Johnson again, plus the foul, and a chance for three. We just want to finish that thought. You heard from Dawn Staley saying, hey, I'm focusing on a national championship game. Gino Auriemma released a statement then yesterday calling his behavior inexcusable and wanting to put the attention back on the outstanding play of South Carolina.
And Ryan, Coach Auriemma is certainly wrong in that moment, which he acknowledged in that apology yesterday. And I know he has also since reached out personally to Dawn to apologize. It's unfortunate that it happened. It's unfortunate that any focus was taken off of South Carolina's performance. They were masterful in that game against Connecticut.
And trying to come back here with Tessa Johnson providing the offense. And Betts now back into the game for UCLA. An 11-point lead for the Bruins. Jaquez turns and lays on a great feed from Dugalich. The fingerprints of Dugalich all over this first half.
Certainly, and the versatility of the wings for UCLA, that they can get inside and post when they have a smaller defender.
McKeer, no. Rebound hits the floor. Edwards comes up with it for South Carolina. Raven Johnson hit it to three, in and out. Tessa, no. And Dugalich the board. Boy, South Carolina's had some looks from three that look good and just rim out. That toss not caught, but that's because Betts was being held. And Tanaya Latson, in this possession, you saw, took a shot from Dugalich and still being looked at. I mean, D, one quick look at that. Could have been a moving screen there with the way Dugalich was leaning.
Very quick look at that. I wasn't refereeing that play. However, it doesn't look like she leaned a lot. I can't really assess on that, to be honest.
All right. Dugalich. Off to Neepkins. 7 to shoot. Neepkins drops it in. How about this? With Betts on the floor today, South Carolina 1 of 13 from the floor. UCLA now 7 of 11. The Bruins doubling up the Gamecocks. It's 30 to 15. Edwards spins, dishes, McDaniel can't hit. Betts another rebound.
South Carolina forced to go back with the bigger lineup because of the way UCLA was able to get inside.
Betts jumper, no. Jaquez doing it all, keeps it alive. Ledger Walker, no. And Dowda comes down with it for South Carolina.
How did Jaquez, though, get the original offensive board surrounded by 4 defenders?
7 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists for Jaquez. Dowda off on a 3, and South Carolina now 1 of 8 from three-point range.
It feels like South Carolina's taking the shots UCLA wants them to take.
Betts traveled, and UCLA turns it over, just their third of the half.
Gianna Neepkins is such a confident offensive player. Doesn't think anybody can limit what she can do there. The little kicked up foot, fade away. It's a tough finish.
Tanaya Latson back in for South Carolina. Rebecca, how do the Gamecocks find some sort of rhythm here against UCLA?
Well, I think having Raven Johnson on the floor is important. You would look for them to run something. You've mentioned it multiple times that involves Tessa Johnson. She's been a good decision maker today. Tanaya Latson trying to get downhill.
Ravens mid-range is good. Big bucket there for the senior Raven Johnson.
And you see UCLA's ability to switch, and Lauren Betts contesting that shot. That's a really tough finish for Raven Johnson over a 6'7" shot blocker.
Raven Johnson has gone to 5 Final Fours in her collegiate career. And a whistle here against South Carolina.
Raven Johnson is able to get in. This Lauren Betts on her, moves her feet pretty well. Lauren Betts does a nice job when she's a perimeter defender, stays right with her. That's a tough look, tough finish for Raven Johnson.
We've seen Corey Close go significantly deeper in her bench in this game. Just saw Amanda Muse getting some minutes. Meanwhile, you see Raven Johnson, second all-time in South Carolina history in wins. Only Victoria Saxton with more. Betts can't hit. Latson the board. Here come the Gamecocks. Latson, little pull-up. Won't rim in. And the rebound caroms out to Jaquez. Rice looking back at Corey Close. Giving instruction. Rice into the paint, the kick, Ledger Walker. Short, Rice the O-board. And another chance for UCLA.
Keep in mind, UCLA all season long, outstanding offensive rebounding team. When they miss a shot, 40% of the time, they go and get the offensive board.
Betts left alone. Connects! An 8-2 advantage and second chance points for the Bruins. Jaquez. Little bump on the drive. Betts and Jaquez were there as Latson was fouled. Timeout on the floor.
Lauren Betts catches the basketball wide open at the high post. Doesn't know whether or not to shoot. Her teammate Dugalich points. Shoot the ball, you're open. Her teammate does. Gives her the point afterwards as well. Tuck it with your finger.
Well, it's been an eventful first half for Lauren Betts. You can see her saying, I have something stuck in my throat. I have something stuck in my throat. Went to the bench for a while, used an inhaler. Came back out, was still coughing. Was examined, sat for an extended period of time. And you can't say enough about the job that UCLA did with her on the bench. And now for Star Stories, brought to you by Mazda. 126 straight points for UCLA have been scored by seniors.
It's incredible the experience that this group brings in to this matchup, including their loss a year ago in the semifinal at the Final Four. But they have been here, they've been in big moments, and they certainly came out ready from the jump of this game.
They have won 30 straight games. Longest winning streak in school history. UCLA looking to become just the second Big Ten school ever to win an NCAA title. Our colleague, teammate, wonderful human Carolyn Peck's 99 Purdue team, Stephanie White, is the only current Big Ten team to ever win a title.
Dawn Staley goes to Joyce Edwards, gets her in a very comfortable position, and then now South Carolina extending their defense. Looks like they're in a 2-3 zone. Try to get UCLA out of their rhythm.
Those are the first points of the game for Edwards. 6 on the shot clock. Jaquez with 3, trying to make it happen. Jaquez misses everything, and a great defensive possession from the Gamecocks.
We've seen this all season long from Dawn Staley and her staff, is switching things up defensively to make their opponent uncomfortable. Certainly we saw that
defensive game plan against UConn.
Yes, earlier in the year against Tennessee, they went to a heavy load of zone and made things challenging.
32-19, UCLA in front. 3:45 to go in the first half. Tessa giving it up. Latson putting it on the deck. Misses the layup. And the rebound caroms off of South Carolina. Courtside at the Women's Final Four presented by AT&T. Jess Sims, Katie Feeney, Alona Marr, and Chelsea Gray sitting courtside today on ESPN as the possession arrow belongs to UCLA. Great pressure there from the Gamecocks.
That's what we're seeing. That's different from South Carolina. They're extending their pressure. We saw UCLA have all kinds of problems against Texas when they extended their pressure as well. Now, South Carolina's pressure is different. They're not full denying the inbounds, but see if UCLA is able to handle it better than they did against Texas.
That's going to be a 10-second violation. They only had 4 to get it over after where the initial held ball happened. And that's going to be a Bruins turnover, just their 5th of the half.
But that's what you're trying to do defensively, right? Just find something to shift momentum, find something to get your opponent off balance. That has certainly been the case the last couple of possessions for UCLA on the offensive end.
In the corner, Edwards. Given space. Edwards creeping down. Twists. Can't hit. Betts the board. O'Connor hits the floor. Betts looking for help. Gets it into the arms of Ledger Walker. Has to get it across again. Now realizes it. Has it intercepted. Latson with Johnson. And Latson lays it in. Plus the foul. No foul, just a timeout taken by UCLA.
Jamming the rebounder initially, making it hard for UCLA to get it over the timeline, and then Latson coming in with the finish. This is the burst that South Carolina has been looking for.
This is a familiar place for South Carolina, the national championship game, their first trip. 2017, defeated Mississippi State. Asia Wilson, the most outstanding player. Then Aaliyah Boston leading South Carolina over UConn in 2022. 2024, South Carolina beating Iowa last year in the title game. Lost to UConn. And now this year, back at it against UCLA. South Carolina trying to win a 4th national championship as we check in with Holly Rowe.
Checking in on UCLA's huddle right now after they called that timeout. They're just trying to gather themselves. They said, hey, let's reset right now. That was their run. The players took a long time talking amongst themselves on how to handle that full court pressure better. Gianna Neepkins and Gabriela Jaquez said to Lauren Betts, listen, if you get tied up, we're here for you. We're on the wing. We're flashing to the ball, making sure that everybody on the team knows how they're going to beat that press and that they are there for each other. They are trying to gather themselves right now after 4 straight turnovers.
Ryan, we saw in the semifinal game, Corey Close having to use multiple timeouts late in the 3rd quarter into the 4th quarter just because her team could not inbound the basketball against Texas's denied defense.
See Tessa Johnson, 3 of 5 from the floor. The rest of South Carolina, 5 for 27. UCLA with all 83 of their points in the Final Four from seniors. And after they had done such a great job protecting the basketball all game long, the Bruins have now turned it over in each of their last 3 possessions, something they've done 3 times all game prior.
South Carolina scoring has given them the ability to set up their pressure.
Betts gets it across with Jaquez. Here is Jaquez. Betts in the corner. Eyes up, out to Rice. Dugalich. 8 to shoot. Neepkins with 7. Rice directing traffic with 4. Down to 2. Dugalich gonna have to hoist. Does. Got it on the rim. Nothing more as Edwards comes up with a rebound. And for the first time in this national championship game, it feels like South Carolina has some momentum.
And it has completely started with their shift on the defensive end to the zone and then picking up pressure.
Latson led the nation in scoring last year. Edwards, no. Rebound Rice looking to push for UCLA. Rice weaving, dishing, Jaquez can't hit, Betts the O-board. They redirect it. Rice will drive and lay it in.
UCLA got the defense shifting, made one more pass, and then Kiki Rice was able to attack the lane that was there.
Kiki Rice having a very poised championship game thus far as UCLA picks up the foul. And coming up, it's the Dove Clinical Plus Care halftime report. There are ladies, Christine Williamson, Andrea Carter, Janae Agumake. Done a terrific job all season long and been so fun hanging with them throughout this tournament. Neepkins picks up her first personal. Okot trying to go in on Betts, had it knocked away. Edwards redirects. Raven Johnson, 5 to shoot. Okot given space, can't hit. Dugalich the rebound. Okot has struggled from the floor, 1 of 7.
That's because UCLA is making her take shots from uncomfortable positions.
Neatkins fades and drops it in. 7 points for the Utah transfer, Gianna Neatkins. Tessa connects. Executed the 2-for-1 as well.
Heavy dose of that. Tessa Johnson put her in ball screen. She's really good coming off and hitting the mid-range.
About a 4-second difference game in shot clock. Rice letting it wind. Kicks it out. Dugalich back ironing off. And a foul on Dugalich. That'll be her second.
UCLA wants Dugalich to be aggressive, but also smart. They want her attacking the offensive glass, but with 10 seconds left, this is not a foul that you would want her to get.
Dugalich will check out for this final defensive possession rather than risk a 3rd foul. Raven Johnson eyes the clock. 5 seconds left in the first half. Johnson on the drive, 2 seconds. Johnson doesn't get it off. That'll do it for the first half. UCLA, a 36-23 lead at halftime as Raven Johnson, Medina Okot talk it over. Well, Lauren Betts, an eventful first half for her. She's with Holly Rowe.
Well, Lauren, you got off to such a great start collectively, but then you hit a little bump in the road. What was going on with your throat?
I don't know what's going on. I think it's really dry out here in Phoenix, so I just have something stuck in there, but I'm good. I'm all good.
Okay, the team has had a lot of composure, and you've really been imposing your will with your length on the boards. How do you think you can keep that up here in the second half?
Yeah, we got to continue to limit them to 1 shot. I think they were making things really tough on them. We can't get them get second chances. That's how they score a lot of points.
Just quickly, their defensive pressure had turned up a notch. How do you handle it better?
Yeah, I think just, playing our game, staying poised, staying confident, not letting their pressure get to us. We just need to make right passes, create catches for each other.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Holly. UCLA, a 36-23 lead over South Carolina. So many decorated seniors playing their final collegiate game today, leaving it all out on the floor. It's the Bruins by 13 of the half as we send things over to Christine, Drea, and Chanae.
Thanks, Brian. Welcome to the Dove Clinical Plus Care Halftime Report. Chanae Ogumike, Andrea Carter, and Christine Williamson here. It is a 13-point ball game at the half of the national championship. And we just heard from Lauren Betts. She obviously dealt with that throat issue. She only played 4 minutes in the first quarter, Chanae, but she's still really impacted this first half.
Yes, this is UCLA's first NCAA championship game appearance, but right now they look like the team with the most experience. Yeah. Lauren Betts set the tone in the first quarter. She was dominant. She did not rush. She was patient. She honestly delivers anytime she gets a touch with 2 feet in the plane. You look at this single coverage, nice touch off the glass, and then again, you're going to see the double. You're going to see a high-low. Here, beautiful pass. She keeps it high and knocks it down. Now, the difference in this game so far have been the bigs, and when it comes to Lauren Betts, they're not going to guard her out there. She's knocked it down, whereas South Carolina's bigs have missed a plethora of mid-range shots. But at this level, it comes down to how bad do you want it. I was so impressed with UCLA. Their entire squad here. There's a miss by Dugalich. Gabrielle Hawkes comes out of nowhere and 100. And then again, a quarter break. Kiki Rice playing more confident than ever before. She's shooting a career high all over the floor, knocks down that 3. UCLA is full of professional scorers. I am just so impressed by their plays.
I'm floored by UCLA, and defensively, UCLA has been phenomenal on that end. A few different issues for South Carolina. South Carolina, on average this season, they've given up 8 second chance points to their opponent. They gave up 10 in the first half. Yeah. That's problematic. The second thing is South Carolina's offense has no flow. Yeah. It's too stagnant. South Carolina is 3 of 15 on uncontested shots. That's a little misleading, though, because every time a post player for South Carolina shoots a jump shot, every player that's ever played for UCLA ever is cheering, because that's that's exactly what UCLA wants them to do. They want the post to settle, and the posts have been settling for jump shots. The bigger issue is 4 of 13 on layups for South Carolina. So even when they do get an opportunity at the rim, they're not finishing. So a couple of things to clean up. The only bright spot is Tessa Johnson. Tessa has been so solid, so strong. We talked to Tessa Johnson before about being a dog. Tessa at one point had all of South Carolina's points in the paint. She has been so solid offensively, 10 points on 4 of 6 from the field. The rest of the South Carolina Gamecocks are 5 of 29 from the field. Tessa has 1 fewer jump shot than all of her teammates combined. So the way that Tessa is playing, that fearlessness, getting into the paint, stopping on a dime, that needs to spread, and the flow from Tessa needs to go to the rest of her teammates.
We asked Dawn, what is the definition of a right shot? She said the right player at the right time with the right shot. I think they'll make that correction coming in the second half.
This is only the 3rd time trailing by double digits for South Carolina this season. The last 2 times they did take L's to Oklahoma and Texas. Lauren Betts trying to give them another L as she has 6 points in this first half of play. They're up 13. We'll be right back after this.
This halftime report is presented by Dove Clinical Plus Care. 96-hour sweat protection plus skin care.
Welcome back to the Dove Clinical Plus Care halftime report. Red Panda in the building, the best in business. And guess who's helping her out? Alona Maher, the rugby Olympian, making everything just look very casual.
And it's not.
It's not.
It's not at all.
She can mess Red Panda up.
See? No, let's not
Exactly. All right, 20 minutes of basketball left this season for UCLA. It's looking for its first title since before NCAA-sponsored women's hoops. And for the Gamecocks, it will be the 4th for the program, and all have come since 2017. Who can guard Tessa? Well, she has 10 points.
No, she needs some help. Somebody who can help Tessa. That's the new question. Who can help her?
We'll be back.
This halftime report is presented by Dove Clinical Plus Care. 96-hour sweat protection plus skin care.
It's a 13-point ball game here in the national championship at halftime. Ladies, this is our last halftime this season as well.
Wow. We killed it.
Y'all did. Y'all really did. Happy to be here. This has been the Dove Clinical Plus Care halftime report. Second half is coming up next after a word from your local ABC station.
Real MVPs.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. 20 minutes to the finish line for UCLA and South Carolina. The Bruins, a 13-point lead on the Gamecocks. Taking a look at our Final Four bracket. Who will be crowned the national champions today? We find out very shortly as we welcome you courtside once again. Ryan Ruocco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. What poise from UCLA in that first half, able to run their offense. They have seniors leading the way. All of those seniors contributing.
Poise goes hand to hand with experience in the moment, and we've seen that from these seniors, all playing to their strengths. Kiki Rice slicing inside, getting to the basket. Gianna Neepkins, 40% plus from deep, hits one there. We've seen Hawkes' activity on the offensive glass evident in that first half. Ledger Walker, what does she do? She can make threes. Dugalich using her size and strength on mismatches inside. And then, of course, Lauren Betts carving out space in the paint. Each one of them been able to go to what they do well on the offensive end.
Well, Tessa Johnson, 4 of 6 from the floor. The rest of South Carolina just 5 for 29. Each UCLA senior with at least 5 points. And you see how much South Carolina struggled with Betts on the floor. Meanwhile, South Carolina that half, their lowest field goal percentage in a half since 2022. Shot just 26%. How do they respond? Seeking a third title in 5 years, a fourth in the last 10. Edwards guarded by Jaquez. Raven Johnson can't hit. Okot, the offensive rebound, and the putback. That is her look.
That is huge for her, and it looked like South Carolina was running a set diagonal upstream for her to get the ball on the block. She didn't, but then got the O-board, put it in. Always helpful to see one go.
Here's Jaquez, lobbing it in, Betts the deep catch, and the easy lay.
Jaquez made that pass look easy. That is a tough over-the-top pass to execute.
Neepkins will fire. No. And Raven Johnson the rebound. Neepkins not shy from three. That's going to be an offensive foul. Okot called for the movement screen. That'll be her second personal.
High-low action, and especially when you're getting it over the arms of a 6'6" defender here, just beautifully lofted over the top where Lauren Betts can catch it and then finish.
And Jaquez in this game, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, done a little bit of everything. Ledger Walker breaks the timeline against the pressure. And a whistle here against South Carolina. Head coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship game begins tomorrow night on TBS. For more information, go to ncaa.com. It'll be UConn against Michigan. Number 3 on Okot. She'll check out. And now South Carolina goes a little smaller. Joyce Edwards to the 5 in this lineup.
Yeah, we saw that a little bit in the first half as well. UCLA try to get Lauren Betts a touch inside.
Neepkins kicks. Ledger Walker can't hit. Rebound Jaquez inside. How about Gabriela Jaquez?
They call her all gas Gabs, and you see why. She runs the floor. She gets to the glass. So much hustle to her game.
Deflected by Betts. And then Betts takes it away from Edwards. Here's Rice with South Carolina back. She'll peel out. Ledger Walker has the seam, missed the lay. Jaquez again a factor. Raven Johnson taken away by Rice. South Carolina a little sloppy with the basketball in this third. Ledger Walker, ton it!
And right now, this is the difference in both teams on the offensive end. UCLA doing what they're comfortable doing.
And their fans have traveled well here to Phoenix. Edwards, no. Jaquez gets clobbered by Johnson.
Kiki Ray is able to get out in the lane, reads the eyes, turns. Wow, that's a tough steal. Great look at it. She's smiling, feeling good. Ledger Walker goes to the right corner, hits the shot. The previous possession, Ledger Walker went inside, and that's not really her comfort zone. You know, adjusted her shot midair. Open 3 from the corner, that is comfortable for her.
Her second 3 of the game. Here's Rice against the pressure of Latson. Every single one of UCLA's seniors playing so well in this national championship game. Rice. Dugalich dumps it in, kick it out. Jaquez back ironing off. Betts the rebound. Another chance for UCLA. Dugalich can't bank it in, but gets the whistle. And Angela Dugalich will shoot 12 offensive rebounds now for UCLA.
Yeah, they continue to be dominant on the glass. They're plus 13 for the game, but this is what they do, and it's not just Lauren Betts with her size. You've seen how Jaquez has just been all over the glass.
How about Gabriela Jaquez? 9 rebounds in this game. Her brother Jaime, fresh off a plane into Phoenix after scoring 32 points for the Miami Heat last night. Here to support baby sis as Dugalich misses the second. And McKeer is fouled Jaime got up. Yeah, her parents are hanging out here. Jaime might have to go right back to the heat. He was here in the first half. He caught all he could. You see Angela and Jaime Sr. catching the action. Now that foul on Dugalich is her third. That is a consequential foul for UCLA, as Dugalich, as Corey Post calls her, is a matchup nightmare.
And on the defensive end as well, she allows them to switch 1 through 4. They don't do that with a smaller lineup.
McDaniel gets fouled by Rice, and Maddie McDaniel is going to shoot 2. By the way, Jaime visited the All-Cast earlier in the game.
Give the guy a break, maybe he's got some popcorn.
You're right. I shouldn't presume to know why he is or is not in his seat.
He found better seats.
You know, one thing, just want to take the opportunity to say, what an incredible host city Phoenix has been for this Final Four. The energy, the signage, the atmosphere, the hospitality, all top-notch, and no surprise from a city that has embraced women's hoops long ago.
One of the original franchises in the WNBA was the Phoenix Mercury. They've had consistent success. Now here you see South Carolina again.
Extending the pressure, yes. This time UCLA breaking it with a little more fluidity. Ledger Walker. Off to Jaquez. Neepkins on the attack. The pull-up short. Jaquez again gets in there. Held ball, and it's UCLA possession.
She's just constant hustle all the time. You see it here once again. Comes in, a knack for the basketball, gets the tie up.
Neepkins, no. Guess who? Jaquez keeps it alive. UCLA dominating the glass. They are a +14. That was Dawn Staley's #1 key to us. That's the catch and the finish.
And that's where UCLA will continue to look against this small lineup. Joyce Edwards doing what she can, trying to fight around and get in front. But it's tough when you have a high-low pass and there's no help side defense.
Largest deficit South Carolina's faced this season. As Betts comes up with a rejection, Jaquez the lay.
Lauren Betts is simply dominant on the defensive end with the block. Kiki Rice, a terrific get-ahead. Jaquez doing what she does once again.
The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One on ABC is brought to you by Nissan. It has been all UCLA thus far. Today in Phoenix, a 48-26 third-quarter lead, and their seniors have all been making massive contributions. They've scored 100% of their points in this Final Four. Let's send things over to Holly Rowe.
Well, in the the South Carolina huddle right now, very calm and positive. Dawn Staley trying to bring some confidence back into her team. The biggest message is boxing out. They are getting crushed on the boards right now. 15 is the differential in rebounding right now for South Carolina and UCLA. The last thing they said, only positivity from here out. They've got to think of what can we do instead of focusing on what they can't.
All right, good stuff, Hall, as McKeer drops it in. Beautiful play out of the timeout for Dawn Staley's team.
And once again, dribble penetration, draw the big, Bex as your defender, and then leave it for another player for an easier look. We've seen that multiple times have success for South Carolina.
Again, minutes for Village. Can't hit the three there. Quite confident of Village early in the shot clock, making the most of her limited minutes. Did not play in the semi. Tessa Johnson, no. Cornabees flags down the rebound. It'll stay with South Carolina. We'll step aside midway through the third. That trophy is on the line. A national champion will be crowned today. And now for our slam dunk matchup brought to you by Wendy's. How about Gabriela Jaque?
She plays with constant energy. Here, even on the perimeter, you see her bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Then what does she do? She goes, reads where the ball's going to come off the rim, pursues it, gets the putback. She posts up inside using her strength. She gets to the offensive glass. She feeds the big. She runs out in transition. She helps get tie-ups. Here, you just see her. The second UCLA gains possession, head down, sprinting the other way. She's just never resting.
And her brother is back. Yeah, there's Jaime after 32 points last night in the Heat win.
He's resting.
He is. What Gabriela was telling us, we said, where does that knack for doing all the little things come from and that relentless motor? And she said, well, with me and Jaime as kids when we played, we only had one play. Grab the rebound and run. That was it. She's shown that off here in the national championship game. Meanwhile, how about UCLA forcing a 5-second violation out of the timeout?
Especially knowing that South Carolina had a set drawn up under their own basket.
Ledger Walker stepped out of bounds. And UCLA gives it back. You saw that number before with Betts. 21 points, scored or assisted on, and that's the thing, Jaquez rather, that's the thing, she impacts winning in just so many different ways. Today it's the 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. Tessa Johnson in the crowd, elevates. Wow, Tournament Tessa is definitely here. 12 points. She's been the only efficient player for the Gamecocks. Raven Johnson gets in there, and South Carolina has the possession arrow.
Again, South Carolina with success, picking up full court pressure. They force a turnover the last possession by forcing UCLA up the sideline. This time, just making the deny for the entry pass difficult.
Sienna Betts will check out. The freshman, the sister of Lauren Betts, one of the top recruits in the nation this past year. Tessa with space, pull up. That one won't go. Rice grabs the deflected rebound. .405 to go in the third. UCLA an 18-point lead in the national championship game. Rice gives it up. See Lauren Betts now wearing number 26 after getting blood on her 51 jersey. Rice pull up. Maybe got hit from behind the ball. South Carolina comes up with it. Edwards just 2 points today. Tornabees, no. South Carolina continues to struggle to score. Under 27% from the floor against this outstanding UCLA defense. Betts kicking out. Jaquez, you bet!
You know when Lauren Betts gets a touch, she's going to demand extra attention. That time, the great weak side out pass by Betts.
It is a 21-point UCLA lead, and that's going to be number 4 on Dugalich.
Lauren Betts has the ball and the wherewithal to look to the weak side. You know the defense is going to be overloaded. That's the pass to the player that might be open, and Jaquez drills it.
Jaquez, a career-high 39% from 3 this season. She has 14 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists in the national championship game. Raven Johnson stuck underneath the hoop. Curls it out. Tessa. Back to Raven. Her 3 won't go. Tornabees had it stripped by Ledger Walker. And then Tornabees fouls Rice. Hey, tonight on ESPN and the ESPN app, it's the Rangers and the Caps on our Disney channels. Another virtual real-time version of the game featuring the inside-out characters. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. Now, UCLA has been known over the last couple of seasons for the rhythm of their offense. the way they move the basketball, the dominance of their scoring. But we have seen their defense on full display thus far in this Final Four, first against Texas and now against South Carolina. As we check in with Holly.
Well, Kiki Rice had shoulder surgery in the offseason last year, and for 6 months couldn't really touch a basketball. So she watched film and got better at defense. That's why they've turned their defense around, Ryan.
No doubt, Ollie. Kiki worked on all the things she could. Meanwhile, Joyce Edwards down. And a little skirmish underneath the hoop between UCLA and South Carolina as Edwards comes back to her feet.
It's here in the scrum as Joyce Edwards is trying to go for the basketball. Immediately when she comes up is holding her shoulder.
Speaking of shoulders, like Holly was just talking about with Kiki Rice. All right, let's go back to Holly for a little more.
That shoulder has been an issue for Joyce Edwards this year. She frequently wears a strap or a brace underneath her uniform. She does wear it at practice, so that is a previous injury that could have been just exacerbated.
All right, Holly, thank you very much.
Sienna Betts getting attended to now. There's been a lot of blood on jerseys and bodies in the game so far.
Also, we've now had 2 significant players switch jerseys at this Final Four. Sarah Strong after she ripped her own jersey, and then today Lauren Betts with the blood on her.
I can't be the only one wondering, like, that's the number you choose.
Right,
your equipment person chooses to bring as the extra jersey. 26 is a baseball number? That's not really a basketball number.
Right.
It's a weird number to choose for your spare jersey.
I guess that's the only one they brought. Here's Tornabees. And at the 3. We did not see Tornabees against UConn in the semi, getting significant run here against UCLA as Dawn Staley looks for some answers. Sienna Betts, Neepkins, little pull-up, rims off. Sienna Betts, the O-board, kicks it out. Neepkins a 3, is good! It is raining baby blue in Phoenix.
Sienna Betts gets the offensive board and then kicks it out to her sister. Lauren knows I've got a 3-point shooter to my right, passes it there, Neepkins drains it. Wow, the way UCLA has been firing on all cylinders offensively and clamped it down defensively has been so incredibly impressive.
A dominant performance thus far as McKeer fouls Rice. UCLA in the bonus, and Rice will go to the line. And we know South Carolina fans travel everywhere. They get great crowds no matter where they play in the country. We felt that here in Phoenix. It has been remarkable, even pregame, to hear the UCLA fans in this building and the following the Bruins have here for the national championship game as this program tries to turn back the clock to 1978. How?
Well, Gianna Neepkins, a transfer in from Utah, is having a really great game so far. She gets a lot of this toughness and able to work through physicality because she is the youngest of 6 children, and all of the olders are brothers. She has had to go up against them her whole life. She said, my brothers made me tough, and she's really showcasing that today. There she is, baby girl.
Look at the look on her face, the smile, the closed eyes. It might be from the smell of the brothers. For people who have brothers can understand that.
That was just basically the face she made throughout her entire childhood. Five brothers.
Anytime she was around them.
A 27-point UCLA lead. The South Carolina have some fight left in them. Latson will peel back out. Knocked away. This defense has been incredible from UCLA. Even Amanda Muse getting it on it.
Thought you were going to go even Amanda Mused, but you didn't.
Latson knocks it away. Jaquez comes up with it. 10 to shoot. Ledger Walker trapped in the corner. Jaquez, 3 to shoot. Needkins, no. Betts the rebound. Another chance here for UCLA. Ledger Walker lays it in. Edwards loses it out of bounds. It's been that kind of afternoon for South Carolina.
The right instinct when you're struggling to score in the quarter court, to try to push pace, see if you can beat the defense down. South Carolina hasn't been able to do that.
Jaquez trapped, and Corey Close will take a timeout with 29 seconds to go in this third. And UCLA a 59-30 lead on South Carolina. Hey, the 30th annual WNBA draft, Monday, April 13th on ESPN and the ESPN app. Dallas Wings have the first pick, followed by the Lynx Storm, Mystics, and Sky. The expansion, Toronto Tempo and Portland Fire of the 6th and 7th picks. Our coverage begins with WNBA Countdown at 6:30 Eastern. We mentioned it before, UCLA expected to have 4 or 5 first-rounders. South Carolina will have Raven Johnson, Tanaya Latson, Medina Okada all being drafted that night as well. And look, Lauren Betts' jersey's back. I got that blood out. She's no longer number 26. And Rebecca, this has been such a dominant performance from UCLA today.
And again, you kind of expect what they've done on the offensive end, or you're not surprised by it, I should say, because of how potent they've been on that end of the floor this year. I mean, South Carolina is a team 4th in the country in field goal percentage on the season, 51%, 3rd in scoring. What UCLA has done in a dominant fashion on the defensive end has been what's been most impressive to me.
They held Madison Booker to 6 points on 3 of 23 shooting. They have held Joyce Edwards to 2 points on 1 of 8 shooting thus far in the national championship game. Second foul on Tornabees. Lauren Betts at the line. Let's check in with Hal.
Well, the 26 was bothering you, Rebecca. There is a 51 jersey. She actually had this spare 51 jersey, but it was back in the locker room. It did take just a minute to go back and get it. The 26 was just a temporary blurb, and we have righted the ship here. I hope that makes you more comfortable.
I love that they have second jerseys for their players. Just if you have the random extra jersey, I'm just curious about the 26. I guess because nobody else has it.
I'm sure we can get to the bottom of that post-in.
But no more during the game.
Meanwhile, how about the foul there? Or are they going to call a lane violation? Yeah, it'll be a lane violation. So another chance here for Lauren Betts. Betts, the first player in Big Ten history to win Defensive Player of the Year and Player of the Year in the same season. And a 13-0 UCLA run. Lena Bilic into the game for UCLA. The Bruins outscoring the Gamecocks 25-7 in this third. We'll chat with UCLA head coach Corey Close at the start of the fourth. Latson on the drive, gets denied by Betts. Edwards fouled. Free throws here for Joyce Edwards.
UCLA foul number 9, Lena Bilic, first personal. Edwards to the line for 2 shots.
Edwards. It's the first. Joyce Edwards, 21 20-point games this season. A record under Dawn Staley. Also a program record for most total points in a single season. With 763, but has been held in check today by UCLA. in the third. UCLA takes a 29-point lead into the fourth quarter. Largest margin in any quarter in NCAA title game history, outscoring the Gamecocks by 16 in the third. The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Stay tuned for more after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Well, the UCLA seniors have delivered this afternoon in the national championship game. A 29-point lead as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. Moments ago, Holly Rowe caught up with Bruins head coach Corey Close.
Coach, your team's attention to the game plan and to detail has really shown up here, particularly on defense. How have you held a very good South Carolina team so low scoring?
Well, they've done it. It's attention to personnel and attention to detail, just like you said, and then forcing just one hard shot. You know, we've been locked in, but we're not done. And we got to think it's 0-0 right now. They are so explosive and so quick that I'm just going to forget those three quarters happened.
Tell me what is important to reiterate to your team right now to close this out.
Really, it's all about getting organized and doing things together, especially in regard to press offense. We need to learn a valuable lesson to what we happened against Texas and be different today.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet. Thank you, Holly.
Let's check out the players' scouting report brought to you by Indeed. How about this from Gabriela Jaquez? Go back to her grade school days, goal setting. How about go to UCLA, play in college? Of course, be nicer to my brother was a good one as well. But Gabriela Jaquez not only has gone to UCLA, she's one quarter away from delivering their first championship in the NCAA era as we check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, get a scholarship was hard for Gabriela. She grew up in LA, but in her senior year of high school wasn't getting any offers, wasn't getting any looks, so she joined an AAU team in Oakland. She would have to get on a flight 2 times a month to go play with this team that had other great players get scholarships like Cameron Brink, Sabrina Ionesco, Haley Jones. That got her some exposure, and she got seen by UCLA. And not only did she play here in basketball as a scholarship athlete, she also was at the Women's College World Series as a softball player 2 years ago.
Pretty incredible how. Here is Jaquez, start of this fourth. Dawn Staley deploying a double big lineup here with Tornabese and Okot. Betts 3 to shoot, Betts fading, can't hit. Tornabese the rebound. Tessa Johnson at 3, that one rims off. Tornabese gets fouled.
Cut into this deficit. South Carolina is going to have to hit some threes. Their primary weapon there is Tessa Johnson, or get more opportunities. And getting to the offensive glass by Tornabese, certainly, of course, couple those things with getting stops on the other end.
South Carolina just 1 of 12 from 3 in this game. They've been a really good three-point shooting team this season. 4th in the country at just under 38%. Taken away by Jaquez. Jaquez all the way in for 2. 16 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and that steal for Jaquez. Wow, there's too much heat on that pass from Tornabese.
Jaquez just coming out, jumping, the little poke with the right hand, and then able to collect it and go the other way. What more could she possibly do?
And the Jaquez family has been doing a lot of high-fiving. Rice in some trouble, out of bounds, and UCLA will have 3 seconds to get it across. And remember, in the college game, it's when it's touched on the other side of half court. The ball can't just get across midair like it can in the pros. You've taught me well, right, D?
You're on it, Ryan. Yep.
D. Kantner, our rules analyst, been so wonderful all season for us. After 36 years as an NCAA official, 26 Final Fours. Here's Dugalich, denied by Tornabese. And Rebecca, in addition to South Carolina needing threes with Tornabese on the floor, how about just Dawn Staley getting her 18-year-old some experience in this moment?
Certainly, she is a very skilled young woman, and just having her get this experience, so when they are hopeful to be back next year, she will feel more comfortable in it.
You know, Tornabese was not slated to join South Carolina this season, but was not playing a ton on her pro team. Dawn Staley said, hey, we could use you this year if you want to come. And came early, ended up making an impact on this team on their road to this national championship game. As Neepkins sinks the first. Neepkins hits both. Now she'll check out, Ledger Walker in. Corey Close in her 15th season at the helm of UCLA and a little more than 8 minutes away from a title. Okai, oh yes, and the foul. Medina Okai with a chance for three. Joyce Edwards will come back in as Tornabees will check out now. Okai misses the free throw. South Carolina 7 of 9 from the line. UCLA 11 of 13. The UCLA team that was pushed to the limit by Duke in the Elite Eight. Suffocated Texas in the semifinal and has overwhelmed South Carolina here in the national championship game thus far.
Saw Lauren Betts with the on-ball screen, and then she rolled into the paint. Raven Johnson stuck defending her. UCLA should have tried to go high-low, would have been better off getting to the wing and then the entry, but foul was called anyway.
Third foul on Raven Johnson as Rice lays it in with the left hand. A 67-34 lead over South Carolina. Kiki Rice, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Edwards, bodies in, gets the roll on the reverse. Nice finish there from Joyce Edwards. Ledger Walker loses the dribble out of bounds. On the pressure from Latson. Raven Johnson in it to three. Tessa the rebound. Tessa working her way through traffic, drops it in. She's been the one source of offense today for South Carolina, now with 14 points.
South Carolina, again, this is a huge deficit, but they need to continue to work, try to get stops, steals if they can, and quick buckets the other way.
And a whistle underneath against South Carolina, trying to deal with Lauren Betts. Well, UCLA held a Texas team 40 points below their average in the semis. And you see what they've done to South Carolina today, who averages 87.5 points. Combined, those teams have shot a paltry 29% against the Bruins. Latson loses it out of bounds. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, Ryan, you might remember that on this same stage last year, that happened to UCLA. They lost a 34-point game in the national semifinal to UConn. I'm going to lay out because this is important. Gabriella getting a standing O.
Good feel, Hal, no doubt. Jaquez getting the ovation she deserves. And we will step aside. We'll get Holly to finish that story. Don't worry, when we come back. 6:31 to go in the fourth. UCLA with the big lead. Well, we're going to flash back 1978, the AIAW National Championship game. The first Women's National Championship game on TV, led by Coach Billy Moore. Annie Myers-Drysdale, UCLA defeating Maryland 90-74 for their only national championship. They have not won in an NCAA era. Corey Close has maintained such a great relationship with all the key figures from that 1978 team. And Corey Close will be the longest tenured coach at one school before a first title. She is 631 away from this win. And last year, Rebecca, when we talked with Corey at the Final Four, which was UCLA's first in the NCAA era, she was overwhelmed with emotion, feeling validation that her holistic approach to coaching, the time she focuses on the whole person, whether that's, she calls it the mental gym, or different ways where she tries to water the seeds of her players, paying off and having success on the court. This year, coming into this weekend, her approach was much more about, hey, last year, we really kind of embraced the spectacle of it all. This year, we're doing what we need to in our schedule to focus on the basketball. They narrowed their group that was going to be moving throughout Phoenix together rather than their larger travel party. They made sure to have intermittent breaks for film amongst all the different obligations, and obviously it has paid off on the floor.
And one of the things that she did that was interesting, she said we kept things to a one-day scout, the way we had done them when we were in the Pac-12, not the two-day scouts that they do in the Big Ten. You only have 1 day to prepare in the NCAA tournament. That's how we handled our entire regular season.
Wanted to prepare them for this moment. Neath gets a three. Why not? Here's Tessa Johnson, partially blocked by Betts. Edwards lays it in. Just put a ball in the story Holly was telling before. After that national champion, or that semifinal loss last year to UConn, Gabriela Jaquez gathered her team, and she said, we all need to look in the mirror and decide what kind of team we want to be. And Jaquez also told us that included Corey Close, and realizing there were certain moments where she was going to have to be a little tougher on them in order to get the most out of them when it came to the details, which Corey would say, I hate coming in hot in film, but I know it's what you need right now. And that clearly has paid off. And Jaquez will check back in, so too will Village. We send things back over to Holly.
Well, talking about Corey Close's coaching philosophy, she got that at the knee of John Wooden when she was an assistant coach there at UCLA. Early on in her career, she went over to Coach Wooden's house with Steve Lavin, and she had the same same name as his great-granddaughter. And he said, "Man, you're somebody great. I want to see you more." So every Tuesday for over a decade, she would go and see him every single Tuesday before he died. And she said, he really taught me that foundation of what I needed as a young person, how to pour into my players, and that holistic approach that you're speaking of, Ryan.
Pretty amazing. Tuesdays with Coach instead of Tuesdays with Maury. And Raven Johnson will check out for South Carolina. One of the all-time greats in Gamecock history. Second on the all-time win list. We'll see if she sees the floor again in this fourth quarter. Jaquez turns the corner. It is a brewing deluge here in Phoenix. 18 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists for Gabriela Jaquez. Tornabeans can't hit.
Don Staley with a lot of young players on the floor.
Dad's on the run. She can do that too. Yeah, Maddie McDaniel, Agat McKeer, Alicia Tornabees, Miriam Dowda, Isla McDowell all getting time here. As McKeer, who you are going to be watching a lot of over the next few years, buries the jumper. McKeer just 4 points away from scoring the most points off of the bench in a single NCAA tournament ever. And there's McKeer on the steal with under 4 minutes to go. McKeer gets fouled. My God, McKeer will go to the line.
Certainly, even in a game with this kind of score discrepancy, all of these minutes are valuable for these young players for South Carolina. Get a feel for the arena, the moment.
These seniors completely changed this program. Lauren Betts and Kiki Rice. The seniors of UCLA have scored their last 170 points. Corey Close pointed out earlier in the week that Lauren Betts may not have transferred from Stanford to UCLA if it was not for Kiki Rice. She was a player that Betts wanted to come play with. And those two about to become national champions.
The top 2 rated recruits in their high school class, and what a journey they've gone on together.
Jaquez keeps it alive because of course she does. Five on the shot clock. Ledger Walker can't bank it in. Dugalich the rebound, fighting through. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the national championship game. Jaquez, you bet! A little cherry on top. What a performance from Gabriela Jaquez. 21 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. As Ledger Walker gets called for the foul.
Gabriela Jaquez has done everything, including scoring, yes, but her imprint has been all over this game. You see her teammates and the joy that she brings to them after the score. What do you think? Gabriela Jaquez end up being the MVP of the most outstanding performer this tournament?
She certainly was in this game.
Yes.
We were asking Gabriela, what would you want people to know about this senior class? And she said, how much we truly love each other. We spend all of our time together off the floor. Most of our texts on our group chat are about how badly we want to win. We're able to have tough conversations together as well because we know how real that love is. Neepkins can't finish that one. Tornaby's the rebound. McKeer gets fouled. I want to spend a moment here on South Carolina, Rebecca, because you cannot say enough about the coaching job that Dawn Staley did with this group this season. As Neepkins will check out and get her ovation for UCLA. Dawn was honest with us yesterday. We said, did you think this was a team that could get to a national championship earlier in the year? And she said, with a big smile, no, I didn't. We couldn't quite get all parts of our game to mesh. But after that SEC title loss to Texas, we figured it out as a group. Remember, this is a South Carolina team that has been without Chloe Kitts, one of their top players all season because of a torn ACL. Ashlyn Watkins not with the program this year. She had been one of their top players in seasons past. And yet Dawn still able to navigate with this group to this game for a third straight year.
And figuring out how to play to her team's strengths. This is a team and a program in South Carolina that historically has been big dominant, playing high-low action. We saw different kind of offensive schemes and sets from them this year that fit their personnel better. certainly saw them just continue to grow and improve throughout the course of the season. Today is not a great representation of how they were playing throughout the course of the latter part of the regular season and into the tournament.
And what they did, snapping the 54-game winning streak against UConn in the semifinals. 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. UCLA will have gone through this Final Four, never trailing to Texas or South Carolina. And our colleagues, Carolyn Peck, Stephanie White, about to have some company, as UCLA will become just the second Big Ten team to ever win an NCAA championship, joining Purdue in 1999. As Miriam Dowda hits the three. Crowd on its feet, ready to party. Muse can't finish. Tornabese the rebound, under 40 seconds to go. And Tornabese throws it away. About a 6.9 second differential game and shot clock. UCLA 6 seniors about to experience the ultimate triumph in this sport. Ledger Walker will take the violation. Have to have one more inbound here. And for the first time since 1978, UCLA is back on top of the women's basketball world. The Bruins have captured their very first NCAA national championship.
Led by 6 seniors. What an incredible season for UCLA. Only one loss along the way, back in November to Texas. They were able to avenge that loss, come back here to the Final Four, make it to the championship game, and then have an epic performance while here, all of their players stepping up, feeling comfortable in the moment.
Dawn Staley says thank you to her crowd after their 3rd straight trip to a national championship. But a historically dominant performance from UCLA as they celebrate their first title of the NCAA era. A mesmerizing 79-51 win. And Corey Close with Holly Rowe.
Corey, you've got someone special wanting to see you.
Come on, Mom.
I couldn't interrupt this hug. It's been a long time for you. You've been at UCLA for 15 years. How do you wrap around what you're feeling right now in this moment?
It's immeasurably more than I could ask or imagine. It's beyond my wildest dreams. And, but it's meaningful because of the people I've gotten to share it with. It's all about the heart. And it would be shallow without an amazing village and incredible people that have poured into me my whole life.
These players showed up today and absolutely put on a clinic. What were you watching out there when you saw them dominating in this fashion?
Connectivity, attention to detail. You know, I looked them in the eyes before the locker room and before the game, and I said, I'm so proud to be able to say this, because all we've been saying, the talent is our floor, but our character will determine our ceiling. And I'm just so confident in their character, and that's what determined how they played today.
Corey, you have done this your way, your unique style of coaching. How does that make you feel that you did not waver from who you are and how you want to do it?
It was a calling. It was the calling that God told me to do it this way. And we always said we were going to do it in an uncommon, transformational way. And Coach Wooden always said, you got to do it the way you're wired to do it, not the way anyone else did. And I've just tried imperfectly to stay true to that.
Thank you so much, Coach.
I appreciate you, Holly. Thank you.
Now, one of the things Corey Close told us yesterday was coming to this event as an aspiring young coach, hoping to one day be coaching her team on this floor. And she said what's made it so special and so exciting is feeling the community of this women's basketball world, something she always dreamed of being a primary piece of, that she is now firmly in the center of. You see the emotion for all the UCLA seniors, and every single one of them who touched the floor in this game made a massive impact, none bigger than Gabriela Jaquez, who was with Holly.
Gabriela, we showed the goals that you wrote as a little kid. On there was to get a scholarship to play basketball. How about winning a championship?
That was definitely a goal. Definitely wrote that one down too. I knew we were gonna do it. Coming to UCLA, we all set out for a goal, and I imagined this moment. I imagined it so many times, and I'm just so, so proud.
What did you imagine?
Crying a lot, the confetti, all the fans being here to support us, my family being here, it just means everything. Celebrating with this group, like, oh my God, I'm so happy.
I saw you turn towards the end of the game and look up to the stands and see your mom. She's up there crying, your brother, your father. What moment did you share with them?
Very special moment. I love my family so much. They've supported me every step of the way. My mom was bawling before the game started at the send-off. And I was like, Mom, me too, but not yet. Like, I can't cry yet. It's just been so emotional. This being my last time I wear this uniform is making me really emotional too. But to finish like this means everything.
Gabriela, what does it mean to you that you're going out as the winningest player to wear this uniform?
I'm just so happy. I'm just so proud of this group. I mean, this is what we wanted to do. This was the plan, and we accomplished it. Like, the mind is so powerful. We've been prepping for this since September 25th. That was when our first practice was, and for a long time, we set out for this, and I'm just so, so proud. Wow. What a great way to end it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a beautiful interview there with Gabriela Jaquez, full of emotion as UCLA has finished the mission this senior class set out to accomplish, a historically dominant national championship game as they knock off South Carolina 79-51, the final. We'll be back with the trophy presentation after UCLA's first title in the NCAA era.
This is a pyramid. It's a complex symbol of achievement and excellence. Let me explain. You're at the bottom.
They're just dominating.
Well, the celebration is on. LA, not a far trek from Phoenix, and the Bruins with so many fans in this building today. Let's take a look at the Capital One rewarding performance. How about the defense from UCLA?
Your goal defensively is to make the other team uncomfortable, and I felt like UCLA did that from the jump of this game. They used their length to get deflections. They came in and swarmed offensive players in the paint. Of course, Lauren Betts and her ability to block shots, but it was everyone. And it wasn't just steals to scores, it was making everything difficult for South Carolina, holding them only to 29% on the game.
To hold that offense to the Gamecocks to 29% from the floor, just a remarkable performance. UCLA with their first NCAA title The second title in Big Ten history. Carolyn Peck's Boilermakers in 1999, the other, and 31 straight wins is how UCLA finishes this season, the longest winning streak in program history. They went up against a red-hot Texas team, held them to a stunning 44 points, then go up against a South Carolina team that had just painted a masterpiece against UConn, and they hold the Gamecocks to just 51. Jaime Jaquez has made his way down onto the floor. UCLA ready to celebrate. Their 6 seniors accounting for every point they scored in this Final Four. And the Bruins make history here today against South Carolina. Every point scored in this Final Four from seniors for UCLA, first team to ever accomplish that. Time for the trophy presentation. Here is Holly Rowe.
They're both ways. They're both ways.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for our trophy presentation. What an incredible tournament run this has been for all of the women and all of the teams, and we are so grateful for your support, the fans, and all of these fantastic athletes. I am now joined by Lynn Holzman, the Vice President of Women's Basketball for the NCAA, and our Division I Committee Chair, Amanda Braun, who will now present our trophy.
On behalf of the Women's Basketball Committee, I'd first like to extend congratulations to South Carolina for an excellent season and a great effort today. And now, it's my honor to present the 2026 National Championship Trophy to Coach Corey Close and the UCLA Bruins.
Coach Close, this is a team that has been fueled and driven by seniors who decided to stay and pour into getting better. How do you describe what these women have meant to this program, bringing you the first NCAA championship?
It's truly indescribable. The loyalty, the steadfast spirit, their character that they've chosen day in and day out. Like, I just am so humbled that they've chosen to commit to our mission. So thank you to our alumni, our fans, the families of our players, our great university. This is meaningful because of the village we get to share it with.
You speak of your village, and today was on prime display. It took a little bit of everybody. Angela Dugalich was just incredible. Gabriela Jaquez, Gianna Neepkins, a newcomer to your program, and Lauren Betts holding it down. Like every single person, Kiki Rice. How do you describe how everyone lifted each other up today?
Well, we've said all year that our selflessness and our work ethic would be the things that fuel us. And, it's one thing to say those things in the summer. It's a whole nother thing to follow through with those things sacrificially, even when it's hard. And all of those things, those commitments, not our feelings, led us to our destiny.
I saved the best for last because Lauren Betts has taken a beautiful step, not only as a person, but as a basketball player. When you see her out there being resilient, a bloody jersey, all the problems she had to fight through tonight, how does that make you feel?
I just love her. I pulled her aside this morning and I said, no matter what happens today, I will always be more proud of who she's become and who she's impacted than any nets will ever cut down. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Coach Close. And now to present our most outstanding player of the 2026 NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. Do we have a trophy for that? I guess we'll just use the big one. The most outstanding player is Lauren Betts from UCLA.
what?
Lauren, this was a tough game for you. You are battling in the post. Every moment on a court is hard. So many people around you. How do you keep your poise and composure in these difficult moments?
You know what? It's nothing new. I get beat up pretty much every single game, so I think it's just having mental toughness, believing in my teammates, knowing that they're going to get me catches, just continue to work hard. I do it for my teammates. I don't do it for me. It's not to get points, it's to create.
You have a special teammate standing right behind you, your sister. I can't imagine how cool this is. You chose to stay another year, to be here on this stage with your sister. What is it like to actually have that come true?
She's gonna make fun of me because I'm crying. I really can't even put it into words, man. Having your own family on the team is something that a lot of people don't get to experience, and I'm so grateful for her. She's made the season my favorite season I've ever experienced. And she's my best friend. I'm just so happy for our family and for her. It's amazing.
Okay, you can tease her because I think she's crying too. Lauren, Coach said she's more proud of you, who you've become as a person. You have impacted so many lives with your decision to be public about your own personal struggles. What have you done to grow the most as a young woman?
Ooh, sorry. Man. I think basketball has given me the platform to change people's lives, and when I had that conversation with my mom, I told her that I was put on this earth not just to score points, but to help people. And I've gone through my journey because other people have experienced the same thing, and I'm always going to speak my truth because I know it's going to help people. So.
Thank you, Lauren. Now a national champion and an important advocate for people. Okay, I can't get out of here without talking to all gas Gabs. Gabriela Jaquez, your performance coach told me that in the last game, your output on their measurement device was that of 2 players. I think tonight it was 3. How were you able to be everywhere all at once for this team?
Just doing what I do coming in, doing whatever the team needs, and just really focusing on defense and rebounding this game. And I'm just so proud of this group. And we're national champions, and it feels amazing.
You talked about, last year didn't go as planned, and you told this team they needed to look in the mirror and decide who they want to be as a team. Who did this group decide to be this season?
We decided to be national champions.
I think it's the mic drop moment of the day, so thank you so much to you, all of you for coming, all of our fans, to ESPN. I do want to say one last name. Without Pam Walker, nothing happens for Bruin basketball. And if you know, you know. Congratulations to the 2026 national champions, the UCLA Bruins.
Holly, beautifully done. What a performance from UCLA. With her first national championship since 1978, their very first in the NCAA era, and they do it in dominant fashion today against South Carolina. For our outstanding bosses, Meg Aronowitz, Alex Barmartino, Leah Vallette, our producer Kerry Callahan, director Jimmy Platt, Dee Kantner, the Hall of Famers, Holly Rowe, and Rebecca Lobo. I'm Ryan Rucco. Thank you so much for watching. For more post-game coverage, tune over to ESPN. Christine, Drea, Janae will have you, and we will see you again next season.
What a wonderful time of the year it is. We have gotten the madness started.
The greatness.
I'm gonna come out and be a dog every night. The urgency.
This time we're here.
The emotion.
This tournament's gonna be spicy.
The stars are ready to shine.
Speaking of stars, there is no shortage.
Flau'jae Johnson.
Sarah Strong.
It's national history that she's making.
Stolen
defeat of the Irish.
Coach Mobley's been coaching like 100 years.
The hair as good as the game. We deserve to be here as much as anybody else.
Davidson connects. USC wins it in overtime. Got it to go.
First 4 to Sweet 16.
Ice cold. Minnesota, first time since 2005.
They get it into Jackson. Around and down for the Blue Devils.
But it's not bittersweet for me. It's just sweet for me.
I'm proud to be your coach. This is incredible.
I can go on and on about Rory Harmon. We're sisters. I have her back. She has my back.
It's the way these seniors have affected our UCLA community.
This is what you want your last game to look like.
I couldn't ask for a better head coach. She brought joy back to basketball for me.
Sarah is the kind of player that makes everyone around her better.
40 minutes of basketball stand between these teams and a dream.
We hope to see you in Phoenix. Let's go get us another.
Here comes the rise. It's right before your eyes. Now that greatness has arrived.
The trip to the national championship game is on the line.
Coach was yelling, meet the moment, meet the moment.
We want this so bad for each other.
Every possession just so intense right now. Now Dawn and Gino getting into it a little bit on the sideline as Gino has to be held back.
You can ask Gino. He's the one that initiated the conversation.
I said what I said.
South Carolina stunned UConn.
I mean, obviously this isn't how I wanted my career at UConn to end, but I have so much to be grateful for.
Now that
It's a one-possession game. Lauren Betts with a block for the ages. UCLA can't taste it.
On a night like tonight, I couldn't be more proud of my kids.
The Bruins will play for a national championship for the first time.
I played